Hello and welcome to Engine Adventures off-road review of this 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz. So real quick before we actually start climbing that hill, I think it can do it, we'll see. But before we get into that, 20-inch wheels with Michelin, I don't even remember what these are, where is it? Primacy LTXs. These tires are really a very mild all-terrain tire. Generally, they have really good performance ratings as far as longevity and all that. They're 245 50 R20s, so you have a really pretty small sidewall there. Definitely not made for off-road. This is not an off-road truck. And you can see the really low clearance on the front. And of course, this is going to be plastic and plastic all the way back underneath there. So not really designed for hard off-road use, of course, but we always put it through its paces. We have the H-Track system here and the 2.5 liter turbo. So we'll take a look, see how that does, and let's get into it. So I'm not as familiar with this area. I have driven up this hill in other vehicles recently, so I'm familiar with this entry section, but you can see the power distribution meter there, and I don't have, so it does have a center differential lock, and actually, so your drive modes, we should go over this here. You have normal, sport, smart, and snow. We're just gonna do normal mode. We're not gonna lock the center diff. It does have the downhill assist as well, but we're going uphill. So we're just gonna start, and it does have a dual clutch, 8-speed dual clutch transmission. So dual clutch transmissions don't like slow speed crawling. Sorry, the seatbelt, there we go. So dual clutch transmissions don't like slow speed crawling like what we're doing right there. And it's not even that slow, but wow, maybe we're, oh no, we're not off the ground. All right, wondering if we had a wheel off the ground, but we might get one right here. And this road's pretty narrow, so I didn't bring the Armada up here. So it's showing even power distribution, but this front left wheel is slipping and the rear passenger side wheel is slipping. I'm full throttle right here and it's kind of struggling, but you can also hear the brakes going. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the center diff right there. Switch the headlights back to auto. So center diff is locked, and let's go ahead. We'll keep it in normal mode for now. So I did go full throttle there to get up that part, and it's starting to slip again. Let me see. All right, we'll keep trying a little bit here. Full throttle. Still full throttle. Still full throttle. So it's doing it, but it certainly is not happy about it. And yeah, we're doing all right. So I can actually smell the transmission a little bit. Like I said, it's not happy about this. I think it would clear that rock, but just to make sure, we'll drive over it with the rear wheel. Full throttle, mostly 3/4 throttle there. Again, dual clutches, like what they would really like to see is me keeping up this kind of speed, but I really don't like doing that. Okay, I'm on the brake and the gas, and it doesn't let me do anything. So if I try and brake torque it by pushing on the, so it climbs a little bit and then gives up. When I'm pushing the brake and the gas, I do that a lot when I'm off-road for better control. But with the dual clutch transmission, that overheats them pretty quickly, as they have to slip until you're actually up to like whatever speed. And this one is probably like 3 or 4 miles an hour before it can fully engage those clutches. Might even be higher than that. So it doesn't like it. As soon as I push on the brake and the gas, it will stop. And again, full throttle here. This is not that steep, so, but that brake system, oh, there it goes. I can't decide. I really like brake-based limited slip system is quite aggressive, and I like that, but the dual clutch, like right there, it basically stopped because the brake system was so aggressive. So between the dual clutch and the really aggressive brake-based limited slip, it's kind of struggling a bit. There we go. A little bit of a unique driving experience there that I'm not used to. I didn't know where to set up my cameras on that hill, so I didn't know where this thing would be lifting a wheel, so you don't have a lot of outside shots there. I will be sure to find a spot where I can get articulated and get you an outside shot of what it does when it's lifting a wheel and how that performs. Decent downgrade here. We'll hit downhill brake control. And yeah, it's definitely applying the brakes. No feet. So we'll just let it run like that. It's keeping me about 5 miles an hour, and this isn't super steep. Again, kind of what you would expect for this type of vehicle to be. You know, there'll be some people out there that'll use this as their overlanding vehicle. Overlanding's not off-roading, but anyway, they'll use this as a soft overlanding vehicle. It's got the truck bed, and so you can pack some gear in there, dirty stuff, use it to get to trailheads and that kind of things, maybe take your mountain bike or whatever. So you might run into some trails like this or roads like this getting to a trailhead, and it should manage that type of stuff just fine. So I haven't had any cause for concern. Now we're up to 10 miles an hour with the downhill assist. But if you're on a well-maintained dirt, gravel, forest, fire road, whatever it may be, you're gonna be just fine. And the all-wheel drive system on this, I would say, is more designed for more designed for bad weather. I was debating going up there, but we'll go down here. The all-wheel drive system on this vehicle is more designed for bad weather than it is for off-roading and rough terrains. So it's honestly, it's a pretty darn good system for what it's designed for. The Santa Cruz does have a pretty good camera system for off-roading. You can switch around to different views, even while you're driving, so you can see what's where, and especially, you know, the front camera view. It can come in handy when you're cresting a hill that you can't see over the top of, and you can turn these cameras on while you're cruising around, which can make a big difference. It can help quite a bit. This might actually be kind of fun. Let's see. I'm going to set up the camera real quick. Exterior shots. All right. We're in normal mode, but we have the center differential locked. And actually, there's a little bit of wheel slippage. Front right, rear driver are the two that were off the ground there. I actually don't like this. I wonder, we'll try it. I'm pretty nervous about this. Did just fine right there. I thought that was going to be much worse. Apologize if I have heavy breathing. That was quite the climb. So we're actually going to try sport mode. Maybe we can be a little more responsive on the throttle. Right at the top, there's a deep hole. I think that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Let's see what we can do. Might have to turn off traction control. So we are locked on the center diff as well. I don't know what that warning was for. right here. So this front right wheel is in a hole, full throttle. It actually stalled. Wow. Okay, seems okay. That's interesting. It actually stalled. So I'm gonna hit traction control once. Traction and stability control are limited, not off. We're locked into first gear. And it does hold the brake, so it's not gonna start moving until there's enough pressure going forward. And it's not working. So we'll see if we can carry some momentum through here. Start from here. Huh. I'm full throttle. There we go. It's not happy. Try one more time. Full throttle. There we go. Roll through the bump at speed. Not quite. Okay. Well, we'll back down a little bit. See if this downhill works. Whoa. This hill's pretty steep. All right, let's get back on the road a little bit, and we're gonna turn. We're gonna hold down the button for traction and stability control, see what it does. It says it's disabled now. See what that does for us. Full throttle. I'm not on the gas. So when it's fully disabled, it disables the brake-based limited slip as well, which you don't want. So this vehicle is not enjoying this. This is, I would say it's a little steeper, but a little easier than my steep hill climb that I'm used to. So full throttle again, wait till it builds up. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And we'll go, oh. I'm really gonna overheat this transmission if I keep doing this, but we'll give it one more shot. We'll get a longer running start, and we'll straddle the dip right there. So I think we might be able to do it if I hang a little bit to the right, not quite fully straddle it, but at least a little ways. So let's see if we can go from here. Full throttle. We are in sport mode. Oh, not happy about that. How about snow mode? What will this do for us? Kind of deadens the throttle. Okay. Smart mode. Same thing. Almost stalled again, but didn't stall. It just doesn't have enough to get going. Come on, get going, get moving. All right, so back to sport mode, and we'll try again. And if we can get moving, I really think we can make it up that, but oh, and we lost it. All right, let's hit reverse, start from the bottom. So the problem with this being a test hill for me is getting bigger vehicles up here. The road gets really narrow with the trees crouching in on the sides or encroaching on the sides. We're gonna hold first gear, we're ready to go. So I don't know if I'm gonna be using this regularly for off-road testing, but come on. There we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I am full throttle this whole way. My foot couldn't go any further into the floor. It's not quite gonna do it. I need to gain more speed. It needs to let off the brakes and let me gain more speed. All the way down to the bottom. All right, anyway, back to what I was saying. It's not likely I'll be using this as an off-road test course for all vehicles, simply because the bigger vehicles are too wide. Even with this one, I was getting uncomfortable in 2 spots on the way up where it was just a little narrow for me. I don't see any oil on the ground or anything, and I didn't feel any bottoming out. At least we're good on that front. But here we go. I'm gonna let it cool off a minute, pull it out of gear, let the transmission cool, and then we will head up full throttle. See if I can avoid the rock there in the middle. I threw off a big one already. That one we could clear, but I'll stay to the right of it. See if we can keep momentum up and make it up that pass a little bit. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna hold first gear. It does have paddle shifters, but I'm just using this manual shift over here, and you can manually shift it up and down from there, but we'll hold first gear and full throttle. Okay, I'm letting off just a little. Full throttle again. And full throttle. I was full throttle the rest of the way. Just can't quite do it. Thank you for watching Engine Adventures off-road review of this 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz. As far as the all-wheel drive system goes, I'd say it's really good for all weather conditions and, being on pavement or on really well-maintained dirt and gravel roads, stuff you'd see in the Forest Service or fire roads, maybe some of the national park roads. Although recently the national park said your crossover is not a four-wheel drive and don't take it on roads marked as four-wheel drive roads. This would fall into that category as a crossover. Anyway, off-road, not the most capable vehicle there is, but still, I like the H-track all-wheel drive system. The brake-based limited slip worked really well. The downfall, honestly, is most likely that 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. It's not designed for off-road work. It's just not what it's here to do. It's great on the road in most cases, but when you get into off-road stuff, it's a little bit struggles a bit when to engage and disengage and keeping the engine RPMs up. I actually stalled it once, so there are a few challenges with it on that front where a normal torque converter automatic would have been just fine. Anyway, if you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications, and give me a thumbs up. And also, be sure to comment down below. If you didn't like it, do all the same things and comment what you didn't like. I love doing this. I enjoy doing the testing and doing the videos, so I love any support I can get. Again, appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful day.